The people we support, they present with behaviours that challenge. They're trying to give us a message. They're trying to tell us that something isn't working for them. They're trying to communicate to us that their needs are not being met. So what can happen, that message can be understood by the staff, or that message can be understood by the system or the service as a behavioural issue, and then we start to see the person as the problem. And if we start to see the person as a problem, the problem we try to solve, we try to solve that problem with restrictive practices, by restraining the person who's upset rather than trying to find out why they're upset, by giving them medication rather than trying to find out what's upsetting and distressing them. The method of behaviour management that we're trying to introduce into the Czech Republic is very different, because we're trying to see the person as having problems, not the person as being a problem. We're trying to introduce a very high level of respect for the individual who's experiencing this distressful situation. We're trying to look at it from a human rights-based approach.
So what positive behaviour support looks at are what are the reasons that the person was upset in the first place. What it also looks at, what are our management strategies if the person is upset. The vast majority of individuals will respond better to what we call de-escalation or distraction techniques. So stepping out of that person's space, removing yourself from the environment reduces the need for anybody to defend themselves against an individual. There are good strategies that people can use so that they don't need to go physically hands-on with anybody. Self-defense is a right, but you have to measure that right against the individual's right that's in front of you. They have a right to be protected, they have a right to be understood, they have a right for us to understand the origins of the behaviour and to address that. If we're not addressing that and continuously using defensive mechanisms, then we're not actually solving the problem. In some cases, we might need to use techniques that will remove ourselves from the situation, or use techniques that we might need to break away. They should be very gentle, they shouldn't be pain related, they shouldn't be techniques that will use any physical elements that cause pain or distress to the person that's engaging in behaviours that challenge, trying to tell us that there's something wrong in their life.
So where we place their use of those restrictions, those maybe physical restraint or any other restriction, we would say that that is the last resort. You know, so the criteria we apply to that is that we would only use that when the person presents as a real and immediate risk to themselves or other people, and all other strategies have failed. So if we place restrictive practices as the last resort, what we've been teaching a lot is there are a lot of first resort strategies. And that's what we spend a lot of time is trying to figure out what makes the person happy and fill their life full of happiness. What makes them upset, try to remove that from their life, and have a balanced attitude that some of the people that we support can be very complex and have very difficult behaviours. And they may need to be kept safe, and other people may need to be kept safe from them. So what we place that as a last resort, that's the last thing we would do. In some cases, it can be the first thing that people do because they don't know any other strategies.
I haven't used physical restrictions in my workplace for a long number of years because positive behavioural support works. So the message to people in the Czech Republic is there's no need for physical restrictions if positive behavioural support techniques are put into place.